do it.
Yeah, do it. All right, there was a yes somewhere. I heard it off inside.
It was me.
All right, so, all right, there we go. So once we get Crusher to stand up nice and tall here, he's got to open up that mouth nice and wide. Andrew's got a bit of a big head, so hopefully this goes well. All right, I'll count you down from 3, buddy. You ready? All right, ready? 1, 2.
Well, howdy doody YouTube, Bayou here with Angry Cajun TV, and we'll look at Sleepy Rob. And today, we're gonna actually do some Cajun shit. Come anytime anyone records, there's always a leaf blower. Bathrooms. You want to what?
You want to go in there and take a dump with me, guys?
How come everybody shook their head yes, man? That's messed up.
That's their fetish.
Like they have ice cream.
Oh, good right now. It's too early.
You just said it's too early for ice cream?
Yeah, it's 8.
Wow. Too early for ice cream. Where you going? Where you going, boy? Oh, that is a big one.
And then got his little hands.
Man, I feel so sorry for you, buddy.
A hole.
You were just hanging out in the swamp and then...
Look, a hole. And turtles and frogs.
I need that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You should water it.
I should.
Keep it on white wood.
What about the cup with the sloth in it? No. Okay. I think we're probably missing important information.
I might have to take that.
I'm thinking. It was albino. Oh, look, we missed it.
Oh.
Look at the baby. Look at the baby. Oh, little ones. There's a gator tag. What's wrong, Rob? You don't need sunscreen?
Nah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just the skull.
Yeah.
Whoa, my camera. Oh, look, it's a shiny version. Oh, it's some kind of weird thing. There you go, kid. Should have get a green one now.
They'll have
They got purple. Yeah, nothing in here. In the front, you get the messiest. Just.
This is the fake off GoPro.
Where'd you find? Oh, GoPro.
Yeah.
And in case anything was to happen to me out here on the lake, there is a bright orange box underneath my seat. In that box, there's a list of emergency contacts, map of the lake, whistles, and flares. So, like I said, I just have to go over all this with you guys in case there was an event. Also, co-captain back there, raise your hand.
His name is Steve.
I got back up.
He's Steve.
Co-captain goes
If
down.
anything happens to me, you guys, don't leave me out there. Please bring me back. Okay?
We'll finish the tour, then come back and get you.
Sounds good.
I would have governor off and let's roll.
What he said.
All right, you guys. Well, welcome to Wild Florida, y'all. So this lake we're on is called Lake Cypress.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Like I said, smaller gator, about 3 feet in length. You can stand up if you want to. About 3 feet in length, so not very big. But these smaller gators that you guys are going to be seeing out here close to the weed line, they're going to be a lot smaller, mainly because bigger gators will actually try to go after them. So if they stay in very shallow areas, all they got to do is dart off in this vegetation over here and they will actually camouflage their body. The good thing about airboats, they're flat underneath. So if we do happen to run over wildlife, it just pushes them further underneath the water and then they come right back up. So getting a little bit closer, he does look like he's about 6 feet. So still pretty decent sized gator right here. Now how to determine the length, which I'm sure since you guys have watched Swamp People before, you kind of know, but tip of their nose to their eyes. So that space that's in between, every inch equals a foot on the American alligator. So that's how you determine the gator's true size. Now, when a lot of these hunters do kill gators, they will measure nose to tail. A lot of times those gators are actually missing the tip of their tail from previous gator fights. So you can never get an accurate size from nose to tail, so you always want to measure nose to eyes.
It's crazy.
Any questions?
Yeah.
So, gators, their whole body is pretty much made of nothing but muscle. So their tail is actually what propels them through the water and above the water, because they can actually jump straight up in the air half their size, which is actually pretty cool. So underneath the water is actually when gators are the fastest. So they can actually swim up to about 20 to 25 miles per hour. And that's just because of their tail.
Yeah,
So
you ain't running
just
from
made
that.
of nothing but muscle. So definitely very cool. But I think he's probably going to keep hiding, so we'll definitely keep going.
Or you just got him a meal.
That's a water chicken. Now, with female gators, and if you want, you can stand up here.
Wow.
With female gators, once they establish their very first nest, they actually use that same nest every single year for the rest of their lives. So
Oh, wow.
she has actually been nesting in this area
You
for
wanna
the
see,
past
hon?
4 years.
Does she want to see?
So she does have
You want to
yearly.
see?
She also has.
Look how long.
two
See the
year-olds.
tail? Look how long that tail is.
Most likely just pick those 3-year-olds out of the nest, because gators will actually, or baby gators will actually stay with the mom for 3 years.
Oh, wow.
So when
wow.
they're 3 years old, they're 3 feet in length. And there's actually, so there is a baby back in there. If you
I
look,
thought it was.
yeah, so there's a couple of them. Look for bright yellow stripes. They almost look like little snakes.
Oh, see it moving? It was moving back there.
If need be, we can also kind of.
Back in there. See it? See it's back in there.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I see it now.
Okay.
Jurassic
It's right into those little.
Oh, it's
So,
another
yeah,
little
so
one.
once
He's
they're
chilling.
3 years old,
The
that's
nest.
typically when they get kicked out of the nest, mainly because they need to start their own life, and 2, those 3-year-olds will actually eat the newborn baby gators.
No.
So, oh yeah, so before that happens, Mama Gator will actually drive those 3-year-olds away from her nest to make sure that they don't eat their siblings.
Man, talking about some mama issues. Right?
But so like I said, she doesn't feed those babies, but she will protect them. So if there's another gator in this area, or if there was a bird, raccoon, snake or anything, if she hears rat or splashing in the water and those babies were crying, she's in attack mode just like that. So she's protecting her babies, so it's instinct. So your female gators are actually way more territorial and aggressive than your male gators are, and that's mainly because they're protecting baby gators. So pretty cool. So those baby gators, they do have bright yellow stripes, and those stripes are actually supposed to help them blend into the vegetation because they're very small. they actually cannot defend themselves, so they need all the help that they can get. So you'll see a lot of those smaller little ones pretty much hiding in that vegetation.
Isn't nature amazing?
It is.
I mean, really, it's
Very cool.
amazing.
Yeah.
So all the baby gators that you see, I know they're kind of hidden a little bit because a lot of them are pushed back to that nest.
Yeah.
Those are all yearlings. Those are all 1 year
I
old.
can't get over that tail. How long?
So, the ones you got at the front entrance when you come in, are those just ones who got pushed out and couldn't fence themselves, or what?
So with that, so those baby gators, they're from Gators in the Park. So they're too small to go into, because I don't know if you guys noticed, but when you walk out of the gift shop to head to the dock, there was a little gator pit. So those gators are way too small to go in that gator pit. A lot of those gators are 3-year-olds, so they would definitely try and eat those smaller little guys. So once they get a little bit bigger, they'll be put in that 3-year-old little pool area, and then once they get big. Okay, you guys, so there is going to be a slight bump, so just bear with me for a second. Alright, so like I said, you guys, I do hope y'all enjoyed, and if you want to take pictures, if you want to sit in the captain's seat if you like, you're more than welcome to do that. And I do hope you guys come back and definitely come back and see us.
What's your name again?
Lauren.
All right, guys, if y'all ready for the real tour.
Hey, I left the key in there.
Our plan worked.
Okay. There you go, you guys. Thank you so much
Lauren.
for coming out. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Wow, that was awesome.
That was great.
I know, he's ready.
Thank you again.
You're
That was
welcome.
awesome.
Thank you. So now you know the route. So now you
Ain't nothing in there? Oh. Yeah.
There's two of them actually. One on the floor, one on the
Yeah. What's the difference between a Cuban crocodile? Does he make cigars?
Yeah. And that's how to roll them nice and tight.
Oh, that's what it is. Oh, look at you. Yeah, that is.
You want to get your armpit off?
Oh no, hey, hey. Oh my. Yeah, there you go. And then in the water. What's going on, guys? Hungry? Hey, buddy.
Yeah, she been sending me updates and everything. Yeah, she been
What up, dude? You just chilling? Yeah.
right.
Oh, that is a big owl.
That's a big
You are a biggie.
I'll grab our first guest of the show. Okay, just hang tight while I grab her, because she is a little heavy, so it takes me just a minute here. Alright.
Oh, this is
Okay, so of course we have a snake here. Does anybody know what species of snake we have here? Not a python, good guess.
It's a
Boa constrictor, yes, very good. We're going to put her on the ground here. Her name is Red. We're going to let her stretch out a little bit. She is going through a shed cycle right now, so you'll see some of her skin starting to peel off there. Now underneath the skin, you'll see that nice next coat of skin. Very vibrant, much prettier in coloration. As they go through that shed cycle, they get very dark and dull in color. Normally this snake's tail is bright red. They get the nickname the red-tailed boa, and they use that tail to lure food in closer to them. So they're ambush predators. In the wild, these guys are very good at climbing trees. So they'll climb way high up into a tree. They'll hide a lot of their body up in the leaves and the brush, and they'll expose that bright red tail in the open. They slowly wiggle it around, and when a bird of prey sees that, they think they're looking at a little bright red baby snake. And in reality, it's a much larger animal than they can understand. So they fly in, they land on the tail with their talons, they end up being grabbed by multiple rows of recurved teeth, and the snake's muscle is going to wrap around that prey item, squeeze nice and tight for a couple minutes, and then proceed to swallow that animal completely whole. They don't take bites or chew their food up like you and I do. Again, their teeth are multiple rows of recurved teeth, so it's very hard for an animal to escape once they've been grabbed on by a python or a boa. They both have very similar teeth. Now we'll talk about snake safety real quick. All right, people often ask us, how do you tell if a snake is dangerous? You know, a lot of times people will say the pupils or the shape of the head, the red and yellow rhyme, all that stuff. It's much more simple than that. Ask yourself one question, okay? Are you messing with the snake? If the answer is yes, it is dangerous. If you're not messing with the snake, it's not dangerous. Guys, leave them alone, and they will leave you alone too. Okay, so I'm not sure of her weight, honestly. She probably weighs about 50 pounds, but it's spread over about 8 feet, so it's kind of awkward to hold. She does a good job of holding herself up, though. You know, I don't really have to do that. She just kind of hangs onto my shoulder there and uses me like a tree. Again, very good climbers. As long as no one has a pet rabbit at home that they were petting before they came to Wild Florida, then she wouldn't smell your hand and feel the need to bite you, okay? This snake eats about 2 to 3 rabbits a month. That is as much food as they need. Being cold-blooded, they don't need to eat every day like you and I. Okay, they make food last them a very, very long time. Scare them any further, so we won't try to pet them. All right, their parents actually live in the safari. If you guys go through our safari today, you'll see a pond with our huge Nile crocodiles. Their mom's name is Blondie, so all of Blondie's babies will typically end up a nice, bright yellow coloration like their mama. All right, they end up changing color drastically as they grow in the first few years. All right, it's crazy to think that this will one day be an over 20-foot crocodile. They grow extremely large. In the wild, they tackle huge prey. They'll be cannibalistic and eat other crocodiles. They can eat wildebeest, zebra, just huge, huge animals that most other wildlife would be totally incapable of taking down. An American alligator here. All right, in the early 1900s, these animals were overhunted big time. Here in the southeast U.S., people would kill them whenever they got the chance, typically for their meat and for their leather. Now, with no regulation to this, they were overhunted, as a lot of animals are, and their population was brought down drastically to the point where there was only a few thousand remaining in the wild. Once they were almost wiped out, federal law stepped into place and said it's now illegal to poach and kill gators. Once people would face jail time for killing them, they had a great recovery in population, all right?
Over to us with the word here. We'll also ask him to stand up, open up his mouth nice and wide, which he's not wanting to do for us right now. Here we go. And then the last and most important command is to ask him to hold, which just asks him to hold where he's at, stay nice and still, and he'll get rewarded for that behavior. And it's the same exact way you guys would actually train your dogs at home. When you ask your dog to sit, and then they do that, you feed them. It's the same thing with Crusher. He is obviously a really big predator, so he's going to want food. So when we ask him to hold, and he does so just correctly, just like that. And then we're going to do some cool stuff that we can work in as well. So this is called desensitization, and this is just a big fancy word for saying getting Crusher used to us touching his face. If we ever have to come in with this big of an alligator, it's really dangerous to work around them whenever trying to do medical procedures, just because you usually have a veterinarian in there with you who's not usually used to working around an alligator. So to make it a lot easier on ourselves as well as the vet, we can ask him to hold nice and still. We can move around on his face and even on his teeth as well, and still have him hold nice and still, because he knows if he doesn't move, he's going to get a piece of food. Or if he tries to bite us, if he jumps at us, does something he's not supposed to, he won't get fed. See something really cool and see Andrew actually put his head in Crusher's mouth.
No.
Yeah, do it. All right, there was a yes somewhere. I heard it off inside.
It was me.
All right, so, all right, there we go. So once we get Crusher to stand up nice and tall here, he's going to open up that mouth nice and wide. Andrew's got a bit of a big head, so hopefully this goes well. All right, I'll count you down from 3, buddy. You ready? All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, no. Unfortunately, insurance does not let us do that anymore after what happened last time. So we will instead put our hat on top of Crusher's head. This is a great testament to just how far his training has actually come. Being able to place a foreign object on an alligator's head, have him hold nice and still, take a couple steps away, come back and retrieve that object without him moving is pretty impressive. And honestly, it's he does a lot better than my dogs at home sometimes. But you usually get a good job, Popper, in this one. Ooh, just as promised. A pretty good one there. All right, so I'm actually going to hop in the water here behind Crusher. I'm going to stay towards the safe end. I'm not sure why people say this is the more dangerous end. However, what we're going to do next is we're actually going to demonstrate some of that medical procedures I was talking about. So with alligators, normally to give them an injection, you would actually have to first catch the alligator, which is very stressful for both us and the alligator. It's also very dangerous for us and the alligator. So instead, with this desensitization training, we're able to actually ask him to hold nice and still and actually give him injections or draw blood or anything of that nature. It makes it way easier for a veterinarian to come in and actually work with the alligator. And all we have to do is ask him to hold still. And then I'm going to go ahead and lift his tail up out of the water here. He's going to stop moving. There we go. All right, now once he gets comfortable, I'll go ahead and take my finger, place it in between those scales and kind of rub it around. That way he gets used to the feeling there being pressure back here in between those scales where the needle would go. There we go, and he did a great job, so we'll go ahead and reward that behavior. Now, that does make veterinarians very nervous, even though he does hold still, but they get paid a lot of money, so they can deal with it. All right, so now what we're going to do is I'm actually going to splash around behind Crusher and try and get his attention, try and get him to spin and try and bite me. Andrew's going to try and make sure that doesn't happen, so hopefully Andrew does a good job with this one. You ready? All right. Help, help, Crusher, I've fallen and I can't get up. I can't reach my life alert. All right, he did a good job there. We'll let him get his reward. And another nice little jaw pop from him. And now Andrew's going to try and get him to spin here. With alligators in captivity, you have to give them exercise, and we're going to try and show that off with a spin. It is if he wants to. Wow, so scary, so fast. When alligators are very motivated, they can move very, very quickly, and as you can see, even with a 14-foot long alligator, they can turn on a dime. They can turn in a very, very sharp circle, and they can do so very quickly, especially when highly motivated. All right. Now with this alligator as well, you can see he can pretty much move around the bottom of the water without disturbing the top as well. And this is because he is an ambush predator. That's actually how they go after their food. However, that's part of the reason why we ask him to stand up nice and tall for us. All right, so it looks like we're down to our last piece of chicken here. So if you guys are ready to see something really cool, Andrew's actually going to give this alligator a big old kiss right on the nose. Here we go. That is adorable, but I doubt it's the weirdest thing Andrew's ever kissed. Let's give it for Andrew and Crusher. They did a great job working side by side for you guys. They did an awesome job today. But before you guys head off, I do have one last question for you guys. Does anybody actually know what to do when an alligator starts chasing you in the wild? Run. Yes, it's not rocket science. Just run away. But don't run zigzags. Yeah, you don't want to do that. So what happens is alligators bite side to side. You'd also slow yourself down and run right into their bite path. So remember, just run a nice straight line as fast as you possibly can. However, if you're not very fast or for whatever reason you're just pretty lazy, you can always just trip the guy next to you and walk away. It's a whole lot easier. Sorry, Andrew.
Well, thank you for joining me, and I'd like to say thank you to Wild Florida because, well, they let us come here and act like a bunch of weirdos. So thank you guys. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And if you're ever in Florida, come check out Wild Florida. This place is awesome.
I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong. I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth. Can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have your doubts, not what I'm about. Have your cloud.